What's going on, guys? My name is ATF Cobra, and today I have a weapon review for the Scar L and Battlefield 3. Now, the Scar L is one of those guns that are kind of harder to unlock because the grenades. You have to get about 15 grenade kills, which is not too easy in a short amount of time. So it's gonna take you a little bit of time. It's not hard. It's just time consuming to get 15 grenade kills. I recommend that you guys, if you are on PC, to go on a 64 player server or 48 player server if you don't like all the madness, because it was madness playing on those servers. But that's gonna help you guys unlock it a little bit faster when you have a lot of enemies in front of you. And also, when throwing your grenades, throw them up in the air so when they come down, they'll land and explode. They'll have less time to explode when you throw them straight up in the air, and that will also help you guys unlock it faster. And the 30 assault rifle kills is super easy. It shouldn't take no more than a game or two to actually unlock it first. But anyways, let's go on to the review of this gun. Basically, the Scar L does have 30 rounds, 620 rate of fire, which is not good, not the best. It uses 5.5 by 45 NATO standard rounds, so that means it does have the regular assault rifle damage at 25, minimum 18, I believe. The stats have not come out for the close quarters DLC guns yet, but when they come out, I believe it has to be 18 or even 20, because long range, this weapon is superb. It's excellent for long range engagements. It's a headshot machine at long range. If you can point at your target's head and aim fairly good enough, you're going to get that headshot most of the time. And most of the attachment I was using for the Scar L includes the red dots, heavy barrel, or even the laser sight at times, because it does feel like the negatives. The only downside to this gun is that the hip fire is not the best. It's actually not good at all. So you're going to need that laser sight to actually help you guys in close range gunfights. Also, it does have a slower fire rate, so stay out of those close range engagements and try to keep your enemy at bay at a distance. And the best way to actually do that is to play a lot of either team deathmatch or conquest, because conquest is going to keep you from getting in close range in your enemy's face. Even though when you are capturing points, you might be rushed at times, but if you are working with your team, you don't have to worry about that as much. Your teammates kind of will cover your back if they're not bad players. But yeah, overall, the Scar L has to be one of the best guns right now for the close quarters DLC, next to the L86. The L86 is really powerful with low recoil and high accuracy, but the Scar L just feels just the same, but a little bit slower, which I was kind of upset about because I wanted to be able to take out most assault rifles. The L85 is a little bit faster than it. It has 30 rounds fire rate faster. It's at 650, while the Scar L is at 630. No, sorry, it's 620. Which means that at distance you might lose sometimes to guns with a little bit more fire rate, such as the AEK and the M16. Long range, you're gonna lose to those guns if they have the shots on you. But if you could get on target, aim for your enemy's head, you're going to get that kill. So yeah, it's still a competitive gun. It's still a gun you want to use, but not as much for close range or even medium range against better weapons. But yeah, overall, would I take this over the AUG? Yes and no, because there's some places where the AUG excels and the Scar L is kind of weaker too, and vice versa. And where the Scar excels is long range, medium range. You'll find that you'll kill your enemy fast from those distances, and you'll kill your enemy with a lot more accuracy, and you'll get a lot more headshots. This is actually a headshot machine, and I really recommend you guys try to unlock it. If you don't have the Battlefield Premium, or if you don't have the new DLC yet, and you don't know if you want to get it or not, I highly recommend you guys do. These weapons feel great. They feel awesome to get them, even though it felt a little bit like I was grinding to get the assignments completed, because some of the assignments are kind of ridiculous. I think the grenade and the M320 kills were the only ones that kind of I didn't like, because it just felt as if I was spamming other players constantly with grenades and stuff like that, and you know, it just didn't feel right because it didn't suit my play style. That's not how I play. I don't really use M320s unless you know, in squad deathmatch and people are hiding in buildings or structures like that. Not to say I'm the perfect player, but it's just not my play style, because I don't like going to deathmatch or team deathmatch and actually spamming people with M320s. But the way you unlock the Scar, like I said, it is 20 kills underslung grenade and 15 grenade kills, which shouldn't take too long for the grenade kills. But if you go into a 64 player match or a 48 player match, it shouldn't take too long. Shouldn't take more than an hour. And remember to toss your grenades upward angle, so when they come down, they do explode in a less time. The M320 grenade launcher kills shouldn't take too long as well. Like I said, it did feel like I was spamming players, and some people did really despise me, and they were calling me out like, "Hey, why are you being so cheap, you noob," and stuff like that. And you know, I didn't really care too much, because I'm trying to unlock this gun. Everybody should know out there, if you see too much of something in a game, like if you're seeing somebody M320 a lot or using the RPG, remember that they're not being cheap or anything like that. They're just trying to unlock a gun. More often than not, if they are using it and you know they're using it throughout the whole game, then you know they might be just trying to you know, bust your balls or be really cheap. But anyways, I only used it for one game anyways, so I think I was done with the M320 in one game in Operation Metro, because that was very close quarters. So that's why I recommend you guys go for the M320 kills. And for the grenade kills, no shocker now, team deathmatch and 64 players. And if you're on Xbox, best way you can unlock this is by playing a lot of Rush. Rush is going to help you unlock this a lot better, because if you're defending the MCON, or if you're actually playing on the opposite side and you're rushing the MCON, or you're rushing the plant, using the squad grenade perk or the specialization is actually going to give you 2 grenades, which you're really going to need. If you're throwing just one grenade, it's not going to help you at all. Because it's hard to get one grenade kill, because by the time you throw that grenade, it takes about 2.5 seconds to actually explode, and your enemy has enough time to run from it, unless you do give them a bit of damage. If you're playing and you're damaging your enemy and you see that they're damaged and they took some cover, remember to throw a grenade. You have 2 in your pocket. Just throw a grenade out there, and hopefully you'll get the kill. But another thing as well with the Scar L for attachments and tips and such, I recommend that you guys use the red dot heavy barrel or the red dot with the laser sight, because it does lag at hit you know, when you hit fire at your enemies. And the heavy barrel for long range is going to give you a ridiculous amount of accuracy, so your enemies will go down in the quickness, because your targets will be, you know, will actually feel like big blobs, and your hit markers are going to hit everywhere, and you're going to get those extremely quick kills, especially when you do aim for the head. When you're aiming for the head, it feels like you take out your enemy in about 1 or 2 bullets, which is fairly quickly. And you do have 30 rounds. I reload a lot because it feels like I'm using a Scar. And basically the way I used to use the Scar is I, you know, get 1 kill and reload, get 1 kill and reload. And that's what I kept doing. I had to remind myself that I don't need to reload, because I have, you know, most of the time when I do use the Scar, I only use about 14 to 15 bullets for 1 kill. And then the next kill is gonna empty my rounds. But fairly to give this gun a good you know, review, it is fairly good. It's really good for long range, medium range, and like I said, the only negatives are the hip fire, but everything else about the Scar L is just about perfect. It's superb. It's a very good gun to actually use for the new DLC, and I'm surprised that the first 2 guns for the assault class had lower fire rates, because close quarter map packs are kind of small. I've been watching some gameplay, and it looks like the Scar L will not excel in most of these maps, because the slower fire rate is just gonna leave you to being killed over and over again by AEK guys and M16 guys. So it's not one of those guns that you want to use for close quarters at all, because it just doesn't fit that playstyle unless you're aiming for headshots, unless you're really accurate and you get kind of lucky, like I was doing a couple times against some guys. M16, even the FAMAS will rip you to shreds. The FAMAS, they also gave it a buff. If you guys didn't see my video already, they gave it a buff. So for the close quarters map packs, I'm expecting a lot of FAMAS and a lot of other submachine gun guys to be coming out the woodworks, because these guns are killing a lot faster and a lot more accurate. The FAMAS now is a weapon that is usable. So yeah. Also, when using the SCAR L, just be sure to remember that you don't need that many bullets to kill your enemies. So try to kind of burst fire when you're at long range, unless you're not killing your enemy fast enough. Sometimes it does feel like that. It does feel like this gun is taking forever to kill people, but all in all, it still feels like a really good gun. It still feels like a really accurate gun, on par with the L86. If you guys haven't seen any gameplay of that or haven't used it already, but I'm going to upload some gameplay of that. The L86 is superb. It's one of those guns that will actually bring up a lot of support guys. It will show that you're gonna see a lot of support guys show up in Battlefield 3 now, because the L86 is gonna be that popular gun that will probably overtake the PKP. I don't know if I'm saying that, if I should even say that, because the PKP is a monster gun, but the L86, it just feels like it just feels great to use. It just feels like every time you go out there, you're going to do good. Not to say that in a bad player's hands is gonna do well, but it just feels like everything is right with that gun. But anyways, SCAR L is a predominantly good gun. Remember, it's a long range gun, not a short range gun, and to use it in that sense. And be sure to also check out the other reviews on my channel and the other actual tips and tricks that I have for you guys. And hopefully you guys did enjoy this video and the review of the SCAR L. I try to put as much gameplay into it as possible. I don't normally do commentaries for 11.5 or 12 minutes, but hopefully you guys did enjoy it as much as I did playing with this gun and also doing these videos. Other than that, I have to say, I'll see you guys on the battlefield. It's been your boy ATF Cobra. Peace.